Remember, this entire manga and every manga on this channel is hand-drawn by myself, and now you too can learn exactly how to make your own viral Dragon Ball mangas at www.makemanga.com, where you can learn directly from me. My mangas have got me on TV, on newspapers, and even earned me over $60,000 a month on Patreon alone. And now, you can click the link in the description and pinned comment of this video and do it yourself. You only need to see the website to see just how many thousands of you are taking this opportunity right now. And don't forget also, the next video to this Ultra Vegito series has already been made and is live now on my Patreon right now for over 4,500 of you incredible fans to watch after this. Again, links are in the pinned comment and description. Enjoy.
Oh God, how long has it been? Was the mortal realm always this much of a mess?
So our story continues with the shocking sight of Vegito finally returning back to the realm of the living. But by chance, not just any Vegito, but Lucif Vegito, levitating in the air triumphantly with his hands on his hips and a big smile on his face, as if somehow victorious over the god killer we knew.
You! So this was wrong as I thought. You are alive then.
As talking of god killers, standing over Jiren's bleeding out body, a massive hole still in his chest, the real Lucif, now the Omni-Devil in his all-new form, would look on unimpressed at the arrival of his former vessel. But it would seem even he would notice something was off. As not wasting any time, as Jiren would watch on from the ground blurry-eyed, Lucif would then immediately levitate upwards towards the high above Vegito, soon coming face to face with him and immediately questioning,
Vegito, or is there something else I should be calling you? I recognize you for sure, but this form, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't this the form you took using my power? How could that be possible, since I left you to rot? I'm intrigued, so I'll allow you to explain before I decide your fate.
Vegito! Why are they just talking? Why is he smiling?
But back down below, the smiles the prince once had would soon begin to deteriorate away, as looking on with tension and a disturbance in his body language, he would stare above and think,
why wouldn't he just attack? What happened to him down there?
But Goku, also watching, would not jump to any conclusions, instead letting out, who knows? He's half me after all. Maybe he wants to test the waters first. But besides, while Lucif's occupied, we have other things to worry about. Your son, Vegeta! Before just like that, the Archangel would then jump up into the sky, leaving a silenced Vegeta to wait behind, before eventually arriving near the body of Trunks, the God Killer having been turned to pure stone from Lucif's last attack, motionless and without a sound. Trunks, hold on! If my thinking's right, you should be just fine. As with confidence in himself, Goku would then immediately take action, extending his hand downwards as he would partially crouch, his palm just over the statue's torso, as the Archangel's divine energy and ki would then begin to formulate all over his hand. And unbelievably, after a brief pause, a sudden change would begin to take place, as inch by inch, every portion of the stone surface of Trunks would begin to miraculously revert back to Trunks' flesh form, color returning to his body and warmth to his presence. I knew it! Perfect! As just like that, God Killer Trunks would be back, a shock on his face as Goku, with a smile, pleased with himself, would talk to the Saiyan calmly. Lucifer! But Trunks, on the contrary, would react in dramatic shock, as if his mind had been frozen in the split second he was attempting to kill Lucifer. Still in battle mode, as from the adrenaline come down, his whole body would be exhausted, huffing and puffing away. Relax, Trunks, you're back. It was all just a bad dream. I knew after seeing Dabura do that same ability on Krillin one time, it had to be a demon's technique. It's only right I should be able to reverse it in this form. We'll have to keep note of that. Now, I just need to go and save Jiren. Huh? Jiren? Wait! But before letting the Archangel go, Trunks, somewhat returning to his senses, would immediately remember something, reaching into one of his many pockets within his utility belt, as Goku would watch on intrigued. As immediately extending out his hand with a green bean included between the tips of his fingers, Trunks would let out excitedly, "Here, Goku! You don't need to be using too much more of your energy. It'll only slow you down. Here's the last Senzu. I was saving it for you or father, but if you think it's right, you should be able to save your friend with it." As Goku, immediately grabbing on and taking the offer, with a smile would respond, "You're always prepared, Trunks. Even the other future Trunks was the same. Thanks a bunch. You're a real lifesaver." With that said, Goku, not wanting to waste any more of Jiren's precious time, would vanish from the spot, instantly arriving crouched over the former destroyer's down body, as Jiren would just mumble, "Son Goku, why are you here?" As hand-feeding the Senzu to Jiren's mouth, Goku would just let out, "Here, eat this, Jiren. This will heal you right up. We can talk after." As trusting in his former rival's words, Jiren the Grey would immediately begin crunching and swallowing the strange bean he had never tasted before. But despite his trust, even Jiren would be completely surprised by the restorative effects of the legendary Senzu, as he would mutter, "The magic Universe 7 possesses will never cease to amaze me." As now, with the hole in his chest completely patched up, the healed Jiren would then get back up onto his feet, as he would say while doing so, "It seems I wasn't hallucinating. That warrior has indeed returned. Vegito." As in a stunning image of both Jiren and Goku now standing, looking up in their all-new states since the Tournament of Power so long ago, Jiren, with a careful watch, would comment, "You truly believe that is him? He does not strike me as the man I once met before." As an oblivious Goku would just respond, Yeah, that's definitely Vegito. Can't you sense my energy signature in him? He looks a little different, but he went through quite a few changes when we fought the Grand Priest. I guess you weren't there to see." But now, with a serious and cold stare, Jiren would reply, "For your sake, Son Goku, I hope you are correct. But I believe our odds of victory here just got worse. Huh? What are you talking about, Jiren? As Goku, looking to the former Pride Trooper, would remain utterly puzzled, none the wiser of what or who had just arrived from the demon realm. As up above, finally, Lucif and his biggest fan, Lucif Vegito, would finally come face to face, both all smiles, with Lucif muttering,
So, going to just stand there, or are you going to explain?
And Vegito responding, Of course, my pleasure, Lord Omni-Devil. As soon, the God Killer would then elaborate, I won't bore your majesty, but long story short, I am Vegito, just not the one you're thinking of. I am not the Vegito scum you sent down to the demon realm. In fact, I met my demise a long while before that. The very first time that Vegito met Z, one of Zeno's gods. The fool used the time rings to bring out more than 1,000 time clones. And it was in that battle I was smited down to the demon realm to finally return now. This reveal immediately intriguing the Omni-Devil, who, not giving away too much with his expression, would then respond,
Lucky for you, I actually do remember that battle. One of the many I enjoyed at my leisure when I was stuck within that vessel. Yes, I do find myself remembering that moment. I'm guessing, since you're the only one here, you must have combined with the rest.
Leaving Lucif Vegito to then explain a strange story, adding, Exactly, my lord. You came to that conclusion far faster than that fool ever could. After absorbing the other clones, I rose to the rank of devil, taking your unclaimed throne, waiting patiently for this very day. All while, that Vegito did the same. He defeated every demon emperor and finally made his way to me. And I'll admit, after absorbing those emperors, he actually was stronger than me. But brawn alone does not win a fight. And with the combined minds of 1,000 Vegitos within me, he was just too stupid to figure out how to beat me. And when the time was right, you should have seen his face when I unleashed my ultimate trump card. One which proved the end for him.
A tall tale.
As Lucif, now beginning to bear a smile, unable to hide his pleasure in Vegito's demise, would then ask,
But you have my curiosity now. Trump card? Then what would that be?
with the current devil responding, Now that would be telling. I wouldn't reveal it so brazenly here, where all these other vermin can hear. Who knows when you'll need my service after all? I'll keep it a surprise to you specifically against these final fighters. I'm at your command. As just like that, in a totally unexpected scene we never thought we would ever see, Vegito would be seen bowing down to the Omni-Devil known as Lucif. As the almighty ruler, looking down at Vegito, would then just whisper,
The mortal realm. Truly, one of infinite possibilities and fun. First Whis changing allegiances, and now you.
Whis!
But suddenly, with a curious opening of his eyes, as if triggered somehow, Lucif Vegito, on hearing this mumble, would be all ears. Huh? Vegito? There's no way! And finally, Goku would clock on to what everyone else had been sensing. As seeing Vegito's great betrayal right before his eyes, he would be in complete disbelief.
We waited all this time! For what? For him to betray us all again?
But meanwhile with Vegeta, who had for all this time already had his doubts over Vegito, blaming him for his ultimate decision to give in to Lucif in the final battle of Season 1, would now only look on, with bubbling up rage until...
Enough of this clown show! I knew I should have never trusted in you, Vegito! I may have been powerless to stop you before, but not anymore! I made you, and I'll be the one to end you!
As finally letting loose, not able to idly stand by anymore, the devil form prince would begin unleashing copious amounts of energy, as black lightning would burst in all directions.
Vegeta!
Powering up in the distance as Goku and Jiren would watch on, sensing the change in Vegeta's energy. And like a rocket, with no lack in confidence, Vegeta, on his own, would immediately shoot into the sky, and not for Lucif, but instead Vegito.
Sorry about this. Seems I have a fan. I'll try to deal with this quickly.
As Vegito, all just smiles, would already know why the prince was in such a mood.
Don't hurt him too much. He and the rest are supposed to be mine.
As just like that, Lucif Vegito would then vanish, as the Omni Devil would watch, like observing his own personal show.
Miss me, Vegeta! Wanted my attention? Well, here it is! Why you?
As instantly appearing right in front of Vegeta mid-flight, a crazed godkiller, almost enjoying the prince's rage, would be all smiles and grin, with his fist tightened and pulled back already before...
What do you think you're doing? Have you forgot whose side you're on? I'm on the side that wins, fool!
As with a brutal uppercut, the extent of Vegito's evil would know no bounds, holding back nothing as Vegeta, the Saiyan that was half of Vegito in the first place, would have his jaw sent flying into the air, as blood would splatter upwards. The devil transformed Saiyan, absolutely no challenge for the 1000 Vegito combined current devil.
Do me a favor, Vegeta, and shut it before I force you back inside!
As with the strange threat said, Lucif Vegito's next move would be to violently kick the prince back down where he came from, sending the dual-winged Saiyan flying uncontrollably down. All the way until an inevitable crash landing on the ground. His brief revival of power ended as fast as it began.
Father!
But this sight would of course elicit a typical reaction from Trunks, as he would scream out his father's name in a panic and then blast off immediately to his aid, not caring for his own safety in the process. "Father!" But as he would arrive, the prince would hardly be down for the count, already getting up onto his hands and knees before...
"Get away! I don't need to be coddled by the likes of you! I'm stronger than you!"
As taking his anger out on his future son, Vegeta would immediately swipe Trunks away, refusing any kind of aid. As when we'd get a closer look at the prince, now just wiping off the blood off his chin, he would grumble out,
"Of all the things to happen, after everything we've been through, he just had to turn. From the beginning, this god-killing, using Lucif's power, he was against us from the very beginning."
"Huh? You really think that?" But Trunks, who technically was the Vegito of his timeline, going through the exact same events of Season 1, would be stunned to hear this, trying not to anger his father, but questioning, "I should know him better than anyone, father. If that Vegito has really turned, it can't be real. Maybe he's just an imposter."
Don't flatter yourself. You may have gone through the same, but I've spent enough time with you now to know you're nothing like Vegito was. He knows nothing of loyalty, only of power. He's exactly how I was at one time. And besides, after just being hit by him, it is confirmed that energy and that technique was undoubtedly mine and Kakarot's.
And as the conversation would be silenced between the father and son, on perfect timing, Archangel Goku and Jiren would now arrive behind, with Goku looking forward and saying, "So Jiren was right after all. Vegito isn't who we knew before. Can't say I'm surprised at anything anymore. All he is another demon standing in the way of us saving everyone." And with that said, the now 4-strong God Killer team would know what challenge now stood ahead of them. As immediately in tandem, Goku, Jiren, Trunks and Vegeta would let off a symphony of roars, unleashing everything they had left and breaking what limits they could as they would finally power up to their max level of strength. These colorful auras being watched at a distance by Lucif as Vegito would just fly back to his handler, eventually appearing by his side with his arms folded as he would look back and say,
"Well, I suppose you've been waiting for this for a very long time. The famed power of an Omni-Devil. Even I'm keen to see it in action. So I'll leave them to you. It's only right."
As Lucif, looking back, would respond,
How generous of you. But you should watch your tongue more carefully. You are not leaving anything to me. Had you robbed me of this moment in any way, you would have been 6 feet in the ground by now. Now you four, show me if God Killers can truly live up to their name.
As immediately addressing the 4 warriors, Lucif would spread his arms before ultimately making his move forward eagerly, with no hint of worry that any of these could do anything to him now. He had achieved his long-awaited dream. as now landing right in front, his first words would be proclaiming,
Son Goku, Prince Vegeta, Jiren the Grey, and Trunks from the future.
before then with a devilish grin continuing,
Which of you wants to die first? Or would it be a joint venture? Trust me, there's more than enough of me to go around for the likes of you.
as now lifting his fist abruptly into the air, his blackened fingers would seemingly command lightning down from the skies just as it would go up, as he would add,
Make no mistake, this will be the final battle for all of you. Now that the realms have merged on your deaths, you will go to neither an afterlife nor a demon realm. Only darkness will await. I applaud all of you for becoming more powerful in your own rights than any god that came before. From the Grand Priest to that insolent brat Zeno. But you will learn today, there are levels to a god, and I now stand at the top.
Enough with your speeches! You two shall fall like all evil!
but not willing to hear any more. Finally, the combined forces of the multiverse's last hopes would all explode forward with more effort than they'd ever shown in their lives. Prime Jiren, Prime Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, ready to show the so-called Omni-Devil that even mortals can upset the balance of power. Lucifer, I will not let you destroy another timeline! As Trunks would be the first to close the gap, his Godslayer blade already activated. But with perfect movement, Lucifer would evade. In front of him, the Prince though, already with a powered-up ball of energy looming over his head. Instantly countering in the split second after with a mixed shoulder and elbow barge, commenting as he would do so,
Don't confuse me with that weakling from your timeline. Those moves will never work on me.
Father, get him!
But even as blood would pour out of his mouth, a sign of his ruptured internal organs, he would still communicate telepathically with the Prince. As right behind, with his giant energy ball now ready, Vegeta would be ready to pile it all down.
Couldn't beat Vegito, but you dare challenge me?
But of course, he would be far from undetected by the Omni-Devil. His gaze instantly looking back, even as Trunks' blood would still be splattering in the air in front. But in an unexpected move, the Prince could simply not have predicted. Immediately, Lucifer's far longer hair would show its use, suddenly clumping together and sharpening to form pin-sharp makeshift spears. And just as expected, as they would soar upwards, their target would instantly be eliminated. As stopped right in his tracks from throwing anything, Vegeta would be stabbed multiple times in an instant, his very armor being pierced into a bloody mess.
Hold on, warrior!
but as the father-son duo would fall, the all-powerful Jiren would be next up, coming to take his second attempt at the Omni Devil, while Vegeta, barely clinging on, would mutter,
Kakarot! Use it now!
as Archangel Goku, seemingly knowing the plan already, would be arriving on the opposite side for a two-pronged attack.
Now, Son Goku!
With Jiren also yelling out as their impending collision begins.
Nice try, but no.
But a confident Lucif prepared would then suddenly slam his stretched arm into the floor itself, his blackened hand immediately appearing elsewhere on the battlefield, the location unknown to us all until...
No!
Until with perfect precision and extreme violence, the hand would be right under Jiren, and even with the former Pride Trooper's forward momentum, Lucif's speed would be so great it would still penetrate straight through Jiren, as blood would gush everywhere. And as to add insult to injury, it would seem in exactly the same spot as before.
Jiren!
As Goku, screaming out now, seeing even Jiren fall, would finally use his angelic powers and turn into a mass of light once again. The same attack that seemingly had most effect on Lucif before. As now, in a truly blinding shine in the distance, Son Goku would be arriving like a sniper shot, ready to get revenge for his comrades. Though for some reason, Lucif would still be grinning, whispering,
Finally! I had been waiting for you to try that again.
Their eyes locked onto each other as their distance would close rapidly and...
What?
Until nothing would go as planned, not in the slightest like it had before. As like Archangel Goku's abilities were nothing now, he would be rendered ultimately useless, as with a single well-placed throat grab, Goku would be stopped instantly.
It's over!
As in a shocking scene of pure domination and defeat, rarely ever seen for the characters of Dragon Ball, all four would be left completely outclassed, either down for the count, viscerally slaughtered, or gasping for air as we speak, all under the power of the new and first Omni Devil.
We failed again and again!
As with his body debilitated, but at least not bloodied on the ground, Trunks would look around and would feel the true sense of despair in the situation, muttering,
No matter what I do, the result is always the same! Lucif always wins!
Come now!
Are you really just giving up? Dying like this is no fate fit for my family. But everything would go silent when within Trunks' mind, a mysterious new voice would be heard strangely referring to Trunks as his own family.
Who are you?
As suddenly within the depths of Trunks, a truly monstrous, possibly demonic creature would be seen, and it wouldn't be the Lucif within him, but a double-horned figure with one red and one cyan eye, finally saying, Fine, take my power. I don't want this to end. But meanwhile, unbeknownst to Lucif, he would be giggling away, now having let go of all the Z fighters, looking on at his destruction and mayhem. As turning to Goku specifically, he would then say,
I would say well done on a valiant effort, but it wasn't really. You four barely lasted a minute, but can't say this wasn't expected. This is the power I knew was needed to finish my plans. But tell me, just how does it feel for not even a 4v1 being enough to claim an advantage? How much more powerless do I need to make you feel?
But soon, what we had all seen moments ago would finally come into Lucif's view. His expression bursting open as he senses something he had never sensed before. As suddenly, back on his feet in a demented crouched position, Trunks would be back in the fight, but mysteriously covered completely in ravenous electricity. As when we would peer closer, on Trunks' now uncharacteristic cold and stoic look, the electricity would even be coming out of his very eyes too. Red on one side and cyan on the other, as if his energy was just simply overflowing as he would ominously let out, So this is what you're calling an Omni-Devil. What a joke attempt at sullying the name of what a devil really is. Don't worry, I will show you what one is by true blood, not just name. As instantly, Trunks would now stand up, his body positively spewing out an unknown energy. His own presence seemingly completely taken over, as the red and cyan colors of his eyes are the only thing everyone else can see. Trunks! Trunks! As Vegeta and Goku, now regaining some strength through the pure goosebumps forming on their skin, would both stare at Trunks, not believing what they would be seeing or sensing.
This boy, who is he again?
As then it would be Lucif's turn to completely question everything.
Sit back down!
But not allowing the mysterious new Trunks to spoil his moment, Lucif would then be quick to blast out a beam to silence him. You confuse me for one of these mortals. As instantly Trunks, with his facial expression not changing at all, would smack away the blast like it came from one of Frieza's men, rather than a literal Omni-Devil, exploding behind him, not moving him an inch.
He just did what?
Stunning Lucif more than ever now, as only now would Lucif realize this was not the person he thought it was. Surprised! As now finally letting loose an insane grin for Trunks, the colored electricity continuing to spill out tremendously. With his entire set of teeth bared, Trunks would say, I suppose you would be, since you never got to meet me. I was only born recently after all. But you will most certainly know of me one day. My half-brother! As with a face as stunned as all of us, Lucif would not believe his ears, as whoever had just possessed Trunks had just revealed himself as not only Trunks' family, but Lucif's too. Just who is this? And where is he? But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag brother in the comments down below and let me know just who the hell this is. Or just find out what happens right now on my Patreon, where you can see the full next video, fully voice acted, soundtracked, and edited for you to enjoy with over 4,500 plus other fans, as well as getting access to 250 plus other fan mangas too. It's the deal of the century.